I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
I wait after all of
We are live.
Woo!
Akilah, we're live.
All right. I thought we were waiting for the intro. I'm like, okay, we're live. All right. So welcome back, y'all. This is Summer House Season 4, Episode 8, X's and O No's. Thanks so much for joining us today. I'm your host, Akilah Ffriend, and the social distancing can't keep my hair laid and slayed like the women of Summer House. So here we are. Some of my other hosts today, we have Trina Dong. And again, this is the only Bravo show she watches because she just can't get enough. We have Amir Yassai, who wants to know, can he please quarantine with Hannah in the Summer House? And finally, we're joined by Jane Johnsen. She covers Vanderpump Rules daily and owns the top Stassi Warren in Summer House.
Woo. Yes, thank you.
Thanks so much for joining us today, guys. We're back again with another Summer House episode. The quarantine and social distancing cannot keep us down. Today, we're going to talk about first how our kids are doing. And by kids, I mean Kyle and Amanda. And then we'll move into who's Luke's girl, otherwise known as Jelena, Hannah, anyone in between, before finally talking about whoever thought handcuffs can pull people apart. And if you watch this episode, you know exactly what we're talking about. We'll wrap this up with a little news where we're talking about Hannah's love life, Karl and Amanda's updates, because that is Summer House 101. And then finally moving into our special segment where we'll be chatting about all things fashion. So let's go ahead and get started, guys. What do y'all think about the episode overall?
A mess. Just a mess. This show is messy boots galore, honey.
Yes.
And you know who I'm giving the episode award to is Miss Jules. She came out, she slayed, she got the ladies' respect, and she put that fuckboy to bed.
Yes.
Or shall I say, not
together. But to his own bed.
Yep.
Amir says it was a mess, but I say it was a beautiful disaster. I was loving this episode. There was so much drama. And you know what I love about this house and this group of people is that every piece of drama, they're all involved. And it's literally a powwow conversation where they had to say at one point, order.
Yes. I
They
love
literally have one talk and then they're like with the panel afterwards and they're like, so what happened? And it's like Hannah and Luke are sitting right next to each other. They have to debrief in front of each other. It's like so bizarre, but I loved it.
It's a lot. I love that we finally saw some of the moms come together, even though it was only Kyle and Amanda's moms. They were probably the only moms that we needed to see. But I loved how this house knows how to, like you said, get intertwined, get in everybody's business. And they bring the family, the extended family comes by and they're like, no, I have something to say too. I have opinions as well. And you're a mess. And we're going to tell you. And I just loved it. I loved it. You know when you're doing wrong or probably doing something right when you need the moms to come in and say, no, honey, this is how things are going to go today.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And why were they sharing a bed? Why are the moms sharing a bed?
The only option, and they were like, good night. Well, just another thing that I don't understand about these people or this show.
The moms were more romantic than Kyle and Amanda.
Seriously. Well, let's get into that. That's our first topic. We're talking about Kyle and Amanda, how the kids are doing, which is one of the questions that the mom asked each other. What do you think about their relationship progressing, at least for this episode?
The kids are not doing well because they're so confused. When Amanda started crying at that dinner that they were having on a random ship, I think they were on, she starts crying and pretends like nobody can see it. Nobody can see how disastrous crying at dinner about your relationship with the man across from you is. They don't know what's going on. And then later she was like, hold my hand, I love you so much. And I was out. I didn't know what was going on.
I mean, listen, Trina, I was with you, but I think that they have this weird relationship that is kind of based around her crying in public, him kind of pretending not to see it, and then him trying to sleep with her, and then her kind of being like, oh, my parents are gone, like our moms are gone, let's fuck, as if are not going to leave each other unless, but then again, the cheating happened and she stayed. So I don't really know what's going to pull them apart.
Yeah, no, I don't think, I think this is kind of the dynamic that some relationships just have. And now I'm convinced like their version of changing is probably to just do this in a more efficient way. So it's like, it's not that I want to stop arguing with you. It's not that I, want to go to this hate love kind of, merry-go-round. It's more so let's figure out a way to know when I'm on and when I'm off. What I didn't like though, and you chatted about it last week, but I didn't like how Kyle is so adamant about Amanda quitting her job. And I thought the mom being there, I thought she would kind of jump in for Amanda and be like, wait, why does this have to happen? I guess it was just more of a thing of let's just make them figure it out in their relationship. But I'm like, why is the problem that I have to change and not you? And I think Kyle's mom finally said it was like, you have all this list or everything that you need Amanda to do. What are you willing to do?
Yes, and I loved how Kyle's mom was like, you need to work on your asshole tone.
Yes.
That was.
But she also said that she has a problem with that as well. So we know where Kyle gets it from.
The apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Right.
True. But I felt like I wish I would have heard more from Amanda's mom, because I feel like last time we saw the mom, the dad kind of overpowered the conversation. And then I felt like Kyle's mom kind of overpowered this conversation. I'd love to hear, like, what was Amanda like growing up? Like, is this kind of her tendency to kind of withdraw, cry, get frustrated, hit below the belt, and then go, I'm a victim? Like, I'd love to hear, like, what made her the way she is. I think the only thing that would break them up, honestly, is if a guy came along and treated Amanda the way she needed to be treated and kind of understood her quirks, and then she'd be like, this isn't working. Yeah, like, I don't think she's ever had a functional relationship. So,
but do you think she'll see it? Do you think she'll see it if another guy comes along and kind of act up to say, you know what, I'm going to act on this? Because it's funny how you said her mom wasn't speaking up or doing much, and that's true. But remember when the parents were meeting, she seemed to say that, that's just who she is too. Like, she seems to withdraw as well, or in their relationship, he's kind of the same. So, like you said, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree on either side, and probably that's why they kind of still are working with each other.
Got it. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah,
I think she would totally push it off.
Yeah.
I think naturally these relationships, they can mimic that of what the parents are. So it was like telling how Amanda's mom was acting and wasn't really speaking up at the dinner table situation, because it kind of shows a little bit about how Amanda sometimes doesn't stand up for herself when Kyle is begging her to work for the company. And I don't know. But while their love is very complicated, what's not complicated is our love for you guys, the fans of AfterBuzz TV. We love you. Thank you so much for tuning in. It makes it so much fun for us to watch our favorite shows and chat with you guys about them. So make sure you're leaving us comments. We'll address them on the next episode. Let us know how you feel about any of our opinions, likes, dislikes, things like that. And be sure to like the videos and subscribe.
Yes. And speaking about that, Miss Jane, we do have some comments from last week's episode. So
we do.
Yeah, we do. Let me read those. So people have really gotten creative, and I am here for it. So let me find it. Okay. So first of all, SM, we love her. They've been on I don't know if it's a boy or girl. They have been on all of our comment streams. Thank you for both hosting this at home. You two are amazing. COVID-19 won't stop our summer house AfterBuzz. No, it will not, honey. It will not. Stop. And then Tabitha Roadhouse has some opinions about Kyle and Amanda. She says, at first, I would understand Kyle. He is feeling underappreciated physically by her. Men not getting sex from a woman they invest into, especially being engaged to, would make them feel emasculated. Time to make your man feel like a man. Okay, Tabitha Roadhouse. I am here for her. And she is saying, thank you guys for doing this review. We really need you. And I love having you guys here to talk to someone if they want to work this out on our end. I don't know what that means, but we're here for it. Yes. Thank you, Tabitha Roadhouse, and all of y'all who are commenting. We are loving it.
Yes. For sure. You know what's something else you guys can comment on? Our next topic, which we'll talk about Luke and who's Luke's girl. As you all saw in this episode, they all went to dinner. And Luke kind of revealed that he was single. Is that what we call it? Which is so funny because obviously beforehand, him and Lindsay went out during the week or after last week's summer house adventure. And that's when Lindsay was actually the first one to meet this pseudo girlfriend. What do y'all think about Luke's girl? And should Luke's girl still be Hannah?
This is the rudest hand motion I've ever seen in my life, in my whole life. And he did not, first of all, I don't know why she asked that. She knew who was single and who wasn't.
Don't ask
so
me.
That stuff is a mess. And I think Luke is rude for telling everybody in that way at these dinners that they all pressure each other into saying stuff that they shouldn't say that they should say in private. So I think that was messed up.
Yes, this round table situation is insane. They were just putting everybody on the spot one by one.
It's just what they got to do. It's like, let's set up the weekend. So let's have dinner and let's do a communal roast, and then we'll know how this weekend is gonna go. But
it's really odd. It's
crazy.
Really odd. And I feel like it's almost like the one with the most tea or the most baggage is the one that's interrogating the people most aggressively.
Yeah.
So Karl has all of his baggage and he's like, tell us about this. Are you dating anyone? What's going on? Who's single? It's like, why do you need to be so aggressive? Like, that's what I don't understand. And again, I understand that Luke is comparing his situation with Hannah's, but that's not the same because Hannah was not exclusive. And she also said she heard some shit about Armand that she didn't like, and she cut him loose. Like, it wasn't that deep.
I actually think that Hannah is being hypocritical. And
really?
Yes. Like, okay, let me be the hot take then. This is the reason. I think that Hannah had a whole boyfriend, had a whole man when she stepped into this house and was flirting.
It was no boyfriend.
But he openly said that he was.
Was it a boy? Oh, so it was another this? That's even better. That's even better. That's even better. He was dealing with the same thing. And Luke, and she was okay with flirting with Luke. She was okay with talking with Luke, all the kind of stuff. And now Luke is obviously, if I'm Luke, I'm like, I'm not putting all my eggs in this basket that's openly dating someone else. I'm going to talk to you and I'm going to flirt with you, but I'm also going to try to pursue something else. And that's just what happens. I think the only thing that went wrong is that he didn't say that, hey, I'm talking to someone else, but they never really had that conversation either. So I don't know. You asked the question, you decided to ask it with everyone around, you're going to get the answer with everyone around, girl.
But the only problem with that is Akilah. Oh yeah, sorry, Trina, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I see your side now. I was so on the other side before, and now that you've rationalized my thoughts, I'm half on your side.
I love a half. We can do that.
I am 100% not on your side.
Amir is on Luke.
I love you, Akilah, but I do not agree.
Tell me
because
why.
I think that, let me kind of break it down. Because when Hannah did the podcast with Nikki Glazer, she said, I have this consensual whatever, and this guy won't sleep with me because he's hurt from his relationship of 3 years, whatever. But that feels like a sob story now because Luke admitted to sleeping with this girl that he's known for a couple of weeks. So that's when I'm like, listen, you're doing fuckboy tendencies, but trying to be a good dude, which is what Jordan's doing. And I hate that. I'm like, stop trying to be a good dude. Like, just be shady. Just do it. Like, we're here for it. Like, I hate when people are phony like that. Like, I still want to be a good guy. Like, you're not a good guy.
You're not a good guy. I get that. There's a lot of not good men. And who knows, Luke probably isn't either. But I think in this instance, I really, really don't see the issue. And perhaps you guys go ahead, talk to me more about this. But I'm kind of like,
I'm actually back to where I was at first. I'm a liar. I'm a flip-flopper. I take it back. Amir reconvinced me of my original feelings. It's because the sleeping with her thing. That is like, we have advanced the relationship completely. And Hannah, everybody knew that she was in this maybe, maybe not with this Armand guy, and she would talk about it constantly.
You think she wasn't sleeping with Armand?
No.
Okay.
They weren't even together.
No, she was.
Not
She was
even
in the shower.
same place.
The shower scene. I love my girl Hannah, but I'm going to throw her under the bus. Remember,
the shower.
She was, right. Exactly. I love Hannah too. She's hilarious. But I'm just kind of like, girl.
Okay. That part you're right, but she was always talking about Armand in public. She was.
Right.
Absolutely. Jane, I want to hear from you. Jane, what's your opinion?
Okay, I understand how it could be seen as similar things, but I feel like Hannah is more in the right than Luke is. And I loved the moment when she was in the vineyard and just served it to him straight. Like, that was so badass. She didn't wait 1 second. She just was like, no, whatever this is, no, I don't want any part of it. I don't want to be in your throuple situation, this weird triangle. Like, this is not for me. And she was wearing the cutest outfit. And she goes for composure, even though they've been drinking wine all day. And I was like, yes, girl, you get it. You get it. And you know what? We know that it's going to work out for her, whatever that may be. I mean, Amir says he's doing fuckboy tendencies. I don't know what he's doing. If they are seriously spending every single night together but not hooking up, then he's obviously not with other women unless he's having like lunchtime bangs. Like, I don't know what he's doing. But they're gonna end up
rationalize it for us.
Shacking up and cuddling either way. So
yeah,
I mean, we have hot takes. That's the funny thing about like our predictions for AfterBuzz is like we kind of know from like studying people so intently, which is what I do with Hannah.
Oh man.
So yeah, I mean, I'm team Hannah because you know I love her, but yeah. But you know what was so funny too? After that, when he was like, "Oh, you want to go on a ride?" And she was like, "If I were your girl, I wouldn't feel very good about going on a ride with a girl that I just kissed," or whatever. However she said it, it was so funny. I was like, "Yes." The way that she like serves these, he does have one so straight.
But I think you guys remember the reason why her and Armand finally broke it off is because Armand explained that he wasn't exclusive. So she was thinking this entire time that she was exclusive with Armand while she was talking to Luke any type of way, flirting with him, everything. And so that's why I'm like, you can't be mad that Luke is saying, hey, I may only be talking to this or only being sexual with Helena. Like,
literally, who is that even? Who is that?
Right. Yeah, you know, and the picture that they showed up, I was like, you guys don't really want us to see Helena. Because why is it so far away, legs up to basically her face? We cannot see Helena. But that's just me trying to be nosy and trying to see who this girl looks like. But I was just kind of confused just really confused as to what her stance was. And I understand to be a little upset. That's different. If you're just like, I really like this guy. Now he's over here talking to somebody else. Like, no, I'm not gonna stand for that. That's different. That's different if you're just like, no, I want to be the only one, which is totally acceptable because who doesn't?
Yeah.
But I mean, that was definitely a big moment. Another big moment was really Jules and Jordan. Like I said earlier, whoever thought handcuffs can pull people apart? And were they ever really together in the first place? Let's talk about.
Well, I was texting Trina, Akilah. So I was texting Trina, and I have a lot of opinions. So I think that it is a web of lies. It's a web of lies. So that's what I think. Because Trina said, wait, you think Jules is lying? I think that like Jordan is all bullshit. And I think that it's rubbed off on her. And now she's saying stuff about him liking to get choked. And I'm like, you guys didn't even have sex. Like, I don't even believe.
I don't believe it. Exactly.
I don't believe any of it. And I can give you evidence because Jordan likes to, like, the reason I say evidence is that Jordan wants to be set up to have like this comical, I'm going to sleep on the couch and I'm going to put the lover boy as a wall. Like, he wants to have a storyline to get back into the house. And he knows a happy relationship is not going to do it. Like, he knows people like to hate him. He, he's admitted to reading YouTube comments and Instagram comments. Like, he knows what he's doing. So I just didn't believe his apology tour from the beginning. But anyways, that's enough out of me.
That's so funny because I was like, what do you mean a liar? And then he said it and I was like, oh yeah, 100% for sure. Jordan doesn't even like high fives, let alone getting like choked randomly. When did we hear that? And also the handcuffs were too much. She was too much this whole time.
Yeah, she was
this whole season. Actually.
Oh my God. It was so extra how she just like out of nowhere sat the girls down and was giving them the nitty gritty of every detail of what she wanted to do to him that night. Like their faces were so, we didn't ask for this.
Yeah, I mean, I think just take it back even a step further when Jordan actually first had the conversation with the group saying that, you know, it feels awkward with Jules because there's no emotional connection, saying he felt sexually connected to her, but there's no emotional connection and he doesn't want to have sex. And it just, I was confused. I'm even confused saying it back to you guys.
Exactly.
I'm just kind of like, I don't know. I don't want to label him and say, okay, he's asexual, that's it. But it does seem like I don't know if he's fully had that self-discovery to say, this is what I like, this is what I don't like.
Right,
But
right.
what I don't appreciate is that it seems like season after season, he's okay with just blaming it on X or YZ girl that he talks to.
Right.
You know?
Which is very misogynistic. And I think what he keeps doing every season is saying like, oh, it's like, it's her, it's not me. And then there's this other girl that I like. It's like, it's always like saying he likes people and everyone being like, nobody really cares. Like, it's like he has these weird dilemmas, but the solution is if you don't feel emotionally connected, then just hook up with her, which is what Kyle said. And he was like, oh, but I don't want to do that either. But I also don't want to take her home to mom, but wait, I do. And it's like, wait, what?
Yeah, he's
What
like,
is it?
He literally said, I would take any of these girls home to mom. And it's like, but you won't have an emotional connection with any of them.
Right.
So why would you do that?
And one of them's engaged. I'm like it doesn't even make sense. Like, it's like he picks these unattainable people. He's like, oh, now I like Hannah. It's like, it doesn't make sense. Like, none of it makes sense. Like, it doesn't click.
It doesn't. And there was not enough wine in the world at that vineyard for Jules to think it made sense to sit him down and try to get him up and choke him. And I'm like, this was never in the plan. Just the night before, he didn't even want to kiss.
No.
It's really odd. It's all odd. I'm all for like sexual fluidity. You do what you need to do. But it also feels weird to choke someone at 7 p.m. after a day of wine tasting.
With
like
all
the right
the
time.
lights on and a camera guy like literally next to you. I was like, there are like 3 cameras on them with bright lighting. Like, this is so awkward.
Yeah.
Maybe
so
that's
bored.
why he said
for her.
no.
But
there was like a 360 film process of the whole scenario.
There just wasn't enough fireball tonight, guys. Everything was more sober and awkward than normal because we didn't have any fireball.
True.
That's what happened.
Very true. We had a lot of lover boy though.
Gave him the ultimate read later that night. So Jules first of all had to reconnect with the girls, and finally Paige told her what was really up, and it was intense. It was kind of hurtful, obviously, to hear that. Hey, you know, he's just not that into you. But she kind of flipped it and reversed it. She was like, I am going to read him, and I was here for it. I was definitely.
It was female empowerment. The whole episode, from Hannah's read to Jules's read to Paige's face expression, it was a like female empowerment moment.
Totally.
And I was here for it. These boys need to be put into a line like, you know, bowling pins, and somebody knock it down. Because I'm like, salute, done. Like, wrap it up, ship it home. Like, and I love that. Like, I think it was Paige said, you guys defending him and saying we all did that doesn't make it right. Guys always do that. Well, I used to do that. Like, it's like, no.
not
cool.
okay. It's not okay.
Paige was the friend hero of this episode, if I could say. She as soon as something happened to Hannah, she told him, what'd she say? Spin it around, spin it.
Yes.
So he was like, look at her. She was killing it. She was helping everybody. She's in a better mood because she saw her man's. And I loved that she was.
Wait, what did she say to Luke? Trina, I don't know if it's because I'm old, but I didn't get the reference. What was spin it around? What was
she was just like spinning your head around, like, don't look at her.
Right.
Oh, damn.
Very simple. Like, do not look at her. Spin your face around.
Real quick, what did you guys think about? I mean, I feel like we can't not touch on Karl and Lindsay real quick. Like, what did y'all think about this whole episode? It started off a little rocky with Lindsay. Seemed like it ended on a good note. Oh, Trina shaking her head. Let's
always. I just feel bad that she's always crying.
Yeah.
In terms of, I was just gonna say, in terms of the female empowerment, I would say like Lindsay sobbing for most of the episode. She probably got like a D- in empowerment, but it ended up working out for her where they're friends again.
Right.
Friends again.
Yes.
I don't know. I'm gonna see. We'll see what
But
happens.
you know what? If you do the Bechdel test, we had so many female characters in this episode. The males weren't really present. So I was here for it, even if she was crying.
But Amir, you're missing the key part of the Bechdel test, that they have to be not talking about a man.
Oh, oops, sorry. The test has failed.
Female protagonists have to not be talking about
Back
men.
it up. Back it up.
My bad. Well, let's rewind the tape. Let's delete that from the record. What I really wanted to say was the girl needs to she needs to invest in some waterproof mascara.
Yeah.
Because it was a running. And I love that Karl is so used to her shenanigans that he just took the FaceTime from the aunt and then proceeded to talk to her as if someone was not breaking down. I was like, that's the kind of man I need. Like when I'm breaking down, I need a man to take the FaceTime and just like deal with me.
Keep it going.
The show must go on.
That's so
show must go on. But what I do love is that Lindsay still, even when she's crying, she has enough strength that Karl has to FaceTime this new girl, Sarah, in a bush.
Yes.
I love that. That I was here for. He's like, do you like my hat? She's like, where the hell are you? And she had her sheets strewn about with like perfect lighting. She was trying to look sexy.
Everything. She's still obviously grieving. She's like, I want to be his friend, but I'm also like, you know, I still like this guy as more than a friend, sort of. So I hope she could get it together, because Karl does not seem worth all these tears, but you know, it is what it is.
But Akilah, do you think her new man's gonna come in? Oh, sorry, Trina, what did you say?
No, I was just gonna say, can we talk about Sarah real quick? Because Sarah walked out on the date last time, and now suddenly they're calling each other babe.
I was so here for Sarah when she did that. I was like, yes, Sarah, know your worth, know your standards. And then it's babe, and I'm like, this is why.
But listen, Trina, if you get dick down good, honey, you'll be calling people babe too.
Oh,
yep.
Is that what you were gonna say, Amir, when I cut you off? Do you have something else to say as well?
No, that's all I wanted to say.
He's got something else to say. Let's move into the news section. I feel like we're just gonna slide on into more people's love lives. Let's talk about Hannah. Let's talk about Karl and Amir.
Honey, let's. Okay, so Hannah was on her Burning in Hell podcast. She had said, there's just so many different people that I want to experience and learn from in this life involving penises. All right. Ooh, okay, my girl. She better work it. Listen, we all have 10 fingers. We have 5 fingers, 2 hands. That's all I have to say. So good for you, Hannah, girl. You better work. Speaking of people that are not working, Amanda Batula. Just kidding, girl. You know, she knows I love her.
We love a good transition. We love it.
I'm here for it.
Come on.
That's what I'm here for in quarantine. So all the headlines have looked pretty similar. Are Kyle and Amanda from Summer House still having their wedding? Even Bravo shaded them and said, Kyle Cook and Amanda Batula set a wedding date, but that may be the least of their worries. A lot of shade coming from your own network. So we'll have to wait and see. It seems like, according to their Instagrams, and I also went on live, Amanda and Paige had a live. Apparently there is a date set, but because of COVID, like they don't know if they're going to be able to hold it sometime in the summer. Nobody knows if they're going to be able to hold that wedding date, but I definitely did a little bit of digging today. So that's all I could come up with.
Speaking of digging on Amanda, I checked out her LinkedIn. It does say that she works at Loverboy.
Oh,
and only Loverboy?
Who knows what?
Only Loverboy?
Yeah, because you don't have 2 jobs in these streets.
So who knows?
Good tea. I like that. And you know what I love from that whole Loverboy thing is when Kyle's mom basically tells Karl, you are the foundation of this business. You better sell some shit. I'm here for that.
I don't know.
Oh,
no. We lost. That's all the news I got.
Oh, wait, one comment. Don't we think Amanda is probably so happy about the quarantine and COVID maybe trying to change her wedding date for her so she doesn't have to do it?
Yeah. Listen to the signs, girl. Listen to the signs.
Quarantine, she's stuck in the apartment with him 24/7, so maybe not.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. Oh, we have one comment from Elijah Henderson. Karl needs to stop. Luke just wants to date around. Lindsay should not cross the line. Okay, girl, she get real one-liners.
Give us all the opinions.
Those
you know what? And I feel like this is something that we obviously are going to talk about next week too. So let's touch back on that in predictions. But thank you, Elijah. Before we move on to that though, we have our special segment, and we'll have Trina taking us away as usual on the fashion.
The ladies, as always, were the only ones killing it as far as fashion was concerned. But we started off the night, their first night out, a bunch of Band-Aid dresses, really bright, like royal colors that I thought they were all killing it. But then we went to the Vineyard and things stepped up their game times a million. I loved all of their fits. It was a little awkward that Amanda and Jules were in matching like rose color and white polka dot.
Yeah.
We're not sure if that was planned or if Jules did another swoop. I guess we'll have to check Twitter maybe to find out how that went. But my favorite fit of the night was probably Paige in her highlighter baby doll dress running through vines. I thought it was magic, and I am feeling blessed that we got to experience that with her.
Yes.
Okay, Hannah's gingham two-piece in the Vineyards was my fave for sure.
Okay.
And also Jules was having this little like Jasmine moment when she first got to the house this time when she arrived.
When she arrived, I loved her look. I was like, Jules, the jean on jean, or at least denim on denim.
Yeah.
With the kitten heel. It was. She did that for sure. She did that.
All right.
You're like, all right. I love it.
We believe you. We believe you.
I love it. We're so ready for some more summertime fashions. Like, can't wait. Everything is literally on sale too, guys. So if you're looking for new clothes, probably
good to
not the
know.
time.
Especially on ASOS, because Jules had that giant ASOS bag on her bed. Did y'all see that?
Yeah. Trina, you're so shady.
And
I just thought it was so good because we know that Jules sees something and goes to Google on ASOS to see what she can duplicate. It's no shade. That's just reality.
Yeah.
No, she probably gets Google alerts. She gets Google alerts for Paige's outfits.
Thank you.
That's when we said Jules is coming into our own. Y'all not gonna do my girl like that. Let us, before we wrap up for today, I want to definitely get into some predictions. We saw a little bit from the next episode and it looked kind of spicy. Guys, one by one, let's say, what do y'all think is going to happen? Let's start with you, Jane.
Oh my gosh. Well, I feel like we have kind of teased some things happening, but it looks like Sarah is going to come to the house for the birthday party next weekend for Kyle. So I think, oh my gosh, my hot take prediction for that would be that Sarah comes and that they're actually like having a great time together. And then Lindsay gets really pissed off about it. And then like, it turns out she's not fine just being friends so far. And there's some shade thrown. And then in addition to that, I think Luke's going to play us some more broody guitar songs. Talking about the shadows of his past. And yeah, I don't know. Hannah and him are going to be off and on, but eventually they'll end up cuddling every single night.
Yeah. Trina, what about you?
I think basically the same. I think we'll probably hopefully get a little bit further with Luke and Hannah so that we can stop with whatever drama they have, because I really liked that they weren't really that much drama. I like that they were our steady hands. So I predict, just out of hope alone, that they mend their issues and they, I don't know, do anything together. I predict that hopefully Jordan gets sick of his lover boy walled room and maybe just kind of leaves. Ends his mini vacation at the summer house, because that's another thing that's never going to get resolved. And that's how I feel.
I agree. I agree with Trina. I think that, you know what show would take Jordan is he can date Sonia Morgan on Real Housewives of New York City. She would take him. You would make him an intern. It would be great. I think it would be great. But let's get back to business before I get too silly. So I think that the preview was everything, because I love Southern Charm. So we have Shep coming back and we have Austin. I think Austin and Hannah might have a little make Luke jealous moment. Hannah is so smart. She knows what she's doing. She knows how to play her, play the men around her. So I'm all for that. I think that Paige is going to start pressuring Perry to come to the house. And I think that's going to give them some friction because he's like, I don't want to come party with some, 30-year-olds that act like they're 20. So I think that he's not going to be into that. And I think Karl's going to royally fuck up again. Because all he tries to do is be the good guy. He's going to mess up with Sarah and Lindsay and trying to mitigate that. So that's not going to end well. And yeah, that's about all my predictions. And I had one last piece of news. So we on Paige and Hannah, when they went live today, they were talking about it's called the push-up challenge on TikTok. And actually Jane challenged me to that as well. But they were talking about how Hannah was like, I'm too original for that. So she's coming up with her own TikTok challenge. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. And then Paige called her a narcissist on live. And it was good.
I mean, listen, call it how you see it, girl. Well, what I see happening, everything echo all you guys' statements, but one major thing too that we saw in the previews is that Jordan seems to have tried to turn Paige against Jules when he asked Paige to pick pretty much he or Jules. Yeah, so I think it's gonna get a little spicy. Jordan's not okay with the fact that Jules is pretty much over him, and he wants to find a way to just kind of get her out before I guess she gets him out. But besides that, obviously we know there's going to be things with Kyle's toga party. The Southern Charm pop-up is cute. Austin and Hannah will never be together, but I like how this is going to be a way to joke around. I can't see it, but I mean, until then, we'll have a lot to talk about when we see next episode. And we're going to give all our opinions then, but for the week, until then, make sure you all follow us on social media, get engaged. We'll be talking about all things Bravo or the other shows that we watch, everything that has to do with AfterBuzz TV and the things that we cover. Like, let's make sure that we social distance, but don't X out the social. So make sure that you follow me on Instagram at Akilah Ffriend. That's AKILAH FFRIEND. 2 F's because I have plenty of F's to give. And Jane, tell us where they can find you. Where can they find you, Jane?
Oh my God, I'm so honored. Jane, you can find me at Jane Johnsen, JaneJohnsen _ on all social medias.
Cool.
And you can find me at Trina on Twitter and Instagram.
Well, that was more awkward than Jules and Jordan, honey.
No, it wasn't.
You know how they feel.
Exactly. You can find me on Instagram, Amir Yass _ and then if you want a daily quarantine TikTok, follow me at Amir Yass _ YASS. Mwah.
Yes. Well, we love you guys for watching, and until next time, buzz you later.
Bye.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.